Alright, let's get moving. Now, when it comes to pillars, I'm hoping it's not what I think it could be. Because if what I'm thinking is correct, there was a very infamous story and tale about a person in Romania called Vlad the Impaler. And he used to impale prisoners on spikes.
Holy
shit. Well, this is the next worst thing. Honestly. Not on spikes or whatever. But it's the next worst thing. Oh my good god.
Abby?
Holy shit. Wait. You're Lev, aren't you? You're growing your hair. You, Abby? Got the hair. Oh, had the haircut. Abby, wow.
It's you.
Yep. It's her. She's like, just get it over with if you're going to do it. But I was like, no, you can't die like this. I thought that was Lev.
Abby.
Jeez, I can't believe they're both still alive. I suppose I have to say that more for Lev than Abby. I mean, Abby's a tough nut, but not trying to take anything away personally from...
Goes this way.
Cool. We'll follow you then, Abby. I mean, not to take anything away from Lev's bravery, but... Like... Abby can take a fair beating. I'm not so sure about Lev. Maybe psychologically, but not sure physically. Oh, yep, it's taking its toll now. And there's that slow walk of just... They've basically both got almost nothing left in them. It's just like, no, just... They have to get out of here. Well, at least there's two boats. That's one good thing. I'm not doing anything, controlling anything. This is an actual cutscene here. At least as far as I know. It feels like I should be controlling Ellie a bit more, but hey, hey, Kablen. So what's she decide? She gonna just like not have to do this, or gonna just let Abby live after what she suffered? Or the extra suffering she's incurred? No, she can't get the images out of her head. It's like, no. It ends now. It's like, no, can't let you leave. This ends here and now.
I can't let you leave.
Yep. Figured. As soon as I saw that image of Joel, that was it. It's on.
I'm not doing this.
I don't think you've got a choice, frankly.
I'm not gonna fight you.
Ellie's still got that
Where's
knife.
Shiloh?
Because otherwise, it's Lev that gets it. Yep. They'll force her.
He's not a part of this.
She doesn't care.
You made him a part of this.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see if I can get those dodges going. Alright. This is it. Let's see if I can get those dodges going. Well, that'll do something fairly decent. Oh. This should even the odds a bit more. I'm ready to mash the button if I need to. Yep, here we go. Take attempt 2. Oh, it's going in. It's going in. Oh, she's using that muscle. Okay. Okay, now it's even Stevens. Oh god, they're both battered and worn out and... Oh, that was... Ah! Jesus. Oh, it's on. That's one effective way, but it takes longer. Oh! Oh! Oh god! That's if that doesn't send Ellie into an all-out adrenaline rage, I don't know what the hell will. Good god. She's got nothing left to lose. It's like, that's it. Well, I know there's Dina, but in terms of anger right now, it's like, that's it. It's over for you. God, look at that. Look. Oh no. She's not gonna do it. She won't go through with it. Abby, you now got a clear message. Do not mess with her ever again. It's over. It's over between you two. That's why she stopped. It's over. Yeah.
Just take him.
Yeah. She can't do it. Because she's pretty sure Joel just wouldn't want her. He want her, I think, to be a better, grow up to be a better person. And she cares too much. As much as she's angry, she's like, she just sees that thing of just being calm, happy, and to him, you know, just himself, and it's like, no. It's not what he would have wanted. Well, we're back. Well, those two fingers are doing better than I would have thought. She's obviously cauterized them and everything. Because they're not bandaged, so... Dina, we're home. I'm getting a very deserted vibe right now. It is. She's gone. Dina left. She's like, I can't do it. She's taking JJ and just gone. To be, I don't. I get why she's done it. I do. But I feel bad for both of them. I really do. A quick check upstairs. No, nothing in there. Not that I'm expecting to be anything in there, but... Wow, she left all our stuff in here. It's like, nope. Can't deal with this. Can't deal with it anymore. Damn. I think she's probably annoyed, but... Probably, I'd imagine quite heartbroken at the same time. But she's never been one to show that so easily unless, you know, her emotions take over. Oh, please give me the... Oh, good. She can't play it properly without two fingers. I'm just saying this from a third-party perspective, but probably could try swapping hands. But I get it. It's not. I'm pretty sure it doesn't feel the same way. I understand that. I've got family who play guitar. They say it doesn't feel the same way. I get that. But I have said the same thing to someone. I was like, just switch over your hands. It's not the same. I get that.
What are you drinking?
Coffee, I'm guessing?
Coffee.
Hmm. Very Joel. Very Joel-like.
Where'd you get that?
Uh, those people that came through last week.
Oh.
A little embarrassed as to what I had to trade to get it, but
That's how much he loves it.
not bad.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, I know.
He's just being a father.
You need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Yeah. He's just worried, but I get it.
Okay. Dina. Is she your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. She just, I don't know why she did that.
He's just
You
asking.
do like her.
Even he can see that in you.
So stupid.
no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
True that. Well said, Joel. Well said.
You're such an asshole.
That's true as well for Melly. Unfortunately.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital.
Oh, that.
My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
To be fair, the Fireflies did as well. They never asked you. Just saying.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
And I get why. You're the daughter he never got to see grow up. He's just being a father. He cares about you. I get that. Totally.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that.
No, I don't blame him for saying that. Hurts him like hell, but he gets it.
But I would like to try.
That's awesome. And she cares about him so much, but there's that resentment there.
I like that.
They have a beautiful but complicated relationship. They care about each other. They care about each other so deeply, but won't say it straight to each other's faces.
I'll see you around.
Yep.
Let's face it, she didn't feel that way. She would never have gone halfway across Seattle. She wouldn't have. So she just is that sort of the saying? You can rest here easy, Joel. It's time for me to move on with my life. Is she going after Dina? I would assume and hope so. Yeah, I reckon she's going off to look for Dina. I reckon that's what she's doing. She's trying to start a new chapter in her life. Wow. I've got to say that despite all the emotional roller coaster stuff in this game, this is one of the best games I have played in years. I remember always enjoying the first game. There's little things here and there, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story, and as I remember, as soon as I heard there was going to be a sequel made after so many years, I was already excited. And I saw the trailers, and just wow, it got me even more excited. And they spoke about, talking about some of the mechanics, details on the characters, see, Ellie bit more grown up, different characters, all that sort of thing, And I thought that was just, I was so looking forward to it. And there are some games which you hear a lot of hype for, but it doesn't match the game. And for me personally, I reckon it actually exceeds it. I really loved this game. I mean, there was the time when I put, when I had my 2 cents, 2 bits about the things that were negatives in my opinion, but the way they did it some parts surprised me. I thought it was a bit surprising. It was surprising, not in a bad way. It was more like it's like, oh, they're actually gonna do this, rather than like, oh, what the hell are they thinking? It was a nice change for them, in my opinion, to do Abby's story. I mean, I would have completely understood if we had this whole thing where we had these cutscenes of Abby running or doing her thing, and we have an extended, long trail of Ellie going straight after her. But we did the first route to a point, had that dramatic scene, and then we lived through Abby's journey to see her struggle. And I actually like that. I appreciate the fact that the developers are forcing us to actually recognize her struggle, what she had to go through to go to success. And this is after the whole Joel incident, right? And, it makes you, especially as long as you're not totally one-minded and just one set minded on, yes, I'm Ellie all the way, I hate Abby. If you want to have an open mind, like I saw what she went through, saw friends, what the loss she went through, the hardships, in her own way, and the people she lost and why, and all, and the people around her, what they went through and their struggles. And there are certain aspects about that character that, if you keep an open mind, you can actually appreciate and like. I really did love this game. They definitely expanded on the fact that, as linear as this game was at times, there was a lot of room to go. It had this, for a linear type game that this more or less was, it's like point A to point B still, but to me, it still felt like had very much an open world feel about it. You could still go and explore places. You could go collect stuff. You could pick this up. You could work. It wasn't just like, oh, you've got to fit through, this fence, get onto that truck to, go through this house to get to the next field. It gave you a couple of options at times, or multiple ways to deal with a situation, and you had lots of choices of weapons. I did love that. But I've got to go over this. The cons, and I'd say that the only cons I would have that come strictly to mind, I still maintain the silencer, especially for Abby, should have had more hits allowed, because not everyone's going to go with a stealth play. I tried as much as I could, but then we had to go loud. You go loud, but you try and use the weapon that's most appropriate, but I still think you should have had more hits on it. I mean, the bow and arrow, sure, I understand the limited amount of ammo. I get that, you've got to pick and choose the targets, but with a silencer, if you want to go full stealth, you probably could. And I wish they'd give you more allowance in that regard with the silencer. There were times which, at least I feel, and you've probably seen me give my 2 cents about this a couple of times, with clickers. There were a couple of times I did notice that clickers were, especially when now it might have just been me, I just slightly moved the character too fast as Ellie and all that, but there were definitely times when it felt like that the clickers, I don't know what it was about them, but they noticed us when they shouldn't be noticed. Like, especially if you're creeping, they didn't. There were a couple of times they just seemed to just suddenly notice us out of nowhere when we were creeping along, and you could stand right in front of a clicker as Ellie, creep up and do a stealth kill, and then you could do something 5 seconds later exactly the same way. And there was once or twice when the clickers just found we were there and we were doing exactly, and I felt I was doing exactly the same approach, and it pissed me off because there should be a level of consistency there that should go through the whole game. I must admit, I really do wish that Abby had the same way with clickers that Ellie did. You know, I get she has the methods you need to each character, but I still maintain that, you know, Abby should be able to crawl. You know, should be able to creep up to the clickers and deal the same damage, because she could do kills with the shivs, so why the hell not? And that leads me on to something. I do understand with the shivs and all that, but like, I get it that Abby was much more well built than Ellie. I totally get that, but at the same time, I almost bring this back to a sense of consistency when I would say that, you know, if you're gonna use, like with Ellie, we had the knife, right? And that was, I love that they took the shivs away from Ellie. They just gave you the knife, you can stealth kill, you can do what you need to do, and it's good. You don't have to worry about chipping shivs or whatever. When he went to Abby, I was like, why? We can still take them out, a runner, but we didn't have the advantage over a clicker. Because of the extra strength, it didn't make any difference. So why, for me, I didn't like the fact that we had to resort back to shivs for Abby. I would have much preferred the fact that if we had been given just a knife. Because Ellie had the knife so that she could kill most except for shamblers and stalkers and bloaters and obviously that lot. But, excuse me, but with Abby, apart from her being able to strangle a runner, she didn't actually have an advantage other than that, in all honesty. She could still use her senses to hear and see. I'm sorry, but I do maintain she should have had the knife. I get it for like a deja vu almost feels like sort of a throwback, sure. But if you're gonna give Ellie the knife, give Abby the knife. I'm sorry, I think that's just something that, yeah, that's just one thing I think. Look, as far as things I enjoyed, I've said it multiple times, I loved the environment, I loved the textures, you know, I love the detail, the contrast, you know, it definitely this game was designed and it was built so, because the PS5 has I think it's called PS4 Legacy Mode or something like that, and it's designed to work on the PS5, and you can tell that and recognize that with the textures, the graphics. You can tell that the game is being coded and designed and built to be used for a PS4 version to be used on the PS5. You can tell that, and I think it's really good how they went the extra step and give that a little extra bit of detail. I did like also the fact we didn't just go in one specific trail of environments. We start off in the snow. We'd be in the subway, give us a metro vibe. You know, we'd be underground in all these buildings and end up in the hospital to our boss fight. You know, being up really, really high gives you unique perspectives and that, and the different environments, and you know, the characters react accordingly. And I thought that was really, really cool, actually. You know, that was, you know, and you know, the characters react as well in that. Like just the NPCs sometimes as well. I must something that that the first game didn't have, I'm pretty sure, was NPC names. Or at least they were calling each other out. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, baby, and didn't win a rifle. But when someone was actually, when an NPC was killed, they're all saying, you know, oh, this Josh, Ryan, Meg, you get my point. They were actually saying, oh, this, you know, blah blah blah's down, you know, etc. You know, oh, cover this line. Dude, they were coordinating. It made you think, and it gave you another, you had to be strategic at times, and the opponents are being strategic and covering each other, you know, and if you weren't being stealthy, you were going to get caught out. I actually liked that. It was a bit annoying at times, and a little frustrating, but I still enjoy that because it forces you to think, and you can still play the stealth route, but you still have to watch your ass and be careful and work your shit out. You have to work. You have to figure stuff out. That was really cool. Weapon variety. I think we're a little bit restricted in the first game, and the fact there was slightly different weapons for both the characters. You know, we got the silenced machine gun at the end. That was actually pretty cool. So, you know, I mean, it was just a nice update. It wasn't, we didn't need it, but, you know, because you got essentially a silencer for the pistol. We had a revolver, which I think might have been, which I'm pretty sure was Joel's. We had the rifle, we had the shotgun, bow and arrow, and didn't we have another one? No, I think it was just those three. And we had, you know, access to the, eventually, smoke bombs. We upgraded them. You had your Molotovs, your trap mines. You had more options, and it allows you to conduct. You could choose different play styles, and I really appreciate it in games. They give you the choice to say, you've got these enemies. We give you plenty of choice. You have to work your ammo out. You have to work your resources out. Pick and choose what upgrades, what you craft here and there. But we give you the options. That was a great job they did there, I reckon. Weather sounded very, very realistic at times in this game. It was, I swear this is Ellie and Joel, all that voice actors sing. That's cool as hell, that is. I just thought I'd say it, because that just came in, just realized that, but I think it is anyway. But the rain sounded so real. Oh my god, I play games which have that and it just sounds just, like you can just tell it's just there for the sake of it. There's no evidence in making you feel like you're actually in a rainstorm, or, you know, it's the little things that add so much to the atmosphere and the ambience, and in my opinion, they nailed that. They really, really did. It was so good there. Oh man, the weather kind of freaked me out at times. Like, there's sort of like, whoa, there's thunder coming out of nowhere. You know? Oh wow. The supply situation, we actually, you know, with the crafting, you know, resources, you had to sometimes explore to find resources, but sometimes they were there. And I like that it's not just, you know, if you bother to go and look around and scour around, you find lots of resources and supplies, lots of parts and supplements. I really think I did a great job there. It forced you to explore a bit. You can go directly or you can explore. That was really cool. The supplements, I like that. I can't remember that was from the first game. I think that might have been or a lesser fashion of that, or a simpler version. But I like how we get more options. You know, we could do things our own. You know, we could choose what we want. We had to find upgrade manuals, sure, but at least we got to choose our playstyle if we found the upgrades for it. That was pretty damn cool. Thank you. Playthrough. Okay, all the upgrades and contain. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I like this for that thing there. That's a really nice scene to leave us there. But the character interactions, even between NPCs, are actually pretty cool. But I'm serious. Don't say this, right? I've played games for I'd say nearly 2 decades. I've been playing games, and it's something I have noticed, especially in the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years. You know that, believe it or not, with some things since the current gen, like the PS4 and all this sort of stuff, that they haven't. When your characters, the interactions, I don't just always mean, I mean as cutscenes as well as just in the game in general, that the characters, like the NPCs and all that, there's interaction between them. And it's significant in the sense that you can tell there's like a relationship there. There's, there's emotional feeling there. They build off each other, or they react to each other's feelings. Believe it or not, there was some stuff in the previous console generation that they had that there. Like, I've played shooter games where they had that reaction, or something, a lesser version, a simpler version, but you still see the building blocks there. And then there's games from this console generation which completely lack it when you would expect it. This game brought that back, and it means it's more immersive for you. You can see, especially in the cutscenes, you see all these characters interact. When some of these characters just say the odd word and they just stand just doing postures and all this, it's just like, so what? It's just two people. But there are times when there's multiple characters, and they react off each other. And it's very obvious, even if it's the subtle gestures or the looks or body posture, a couple of things combined, it really adds to the immersion, adds to the detail. It just adds to the atmosphere and things. It brings you really in the moment in that game, and that was so good. There's, in my opinion, a lot of games recently that should have had that didn't. This game brought that back, and it really took it to a level you would expect. Cutscenes, they did a great job, I think. A lot of games have just your cutscenes, but there's the immersiveness, there's the emotional feeling, there's the way sometimes in cutscenes they don't make you feel a certain way, or they just feel very bland. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a cutscene. It's like there's cutscenes in games where it's just like you're either killing someone or there's a massive explosion. You just feel like, it's a cutscene. This game, you feel it. At least I felt it. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. It's like you actually feel like when there's the boss fights, when there's the reaction between the characters, like you actually can get the joke. You can get into a bit of the rhythm of it. It's like you understand the conversation. You almost feel like you are a part of it. And you'll react the same way that the character you're controlling probably feels, just like, whoa, or yay, or oh shit, or you get really angry or frustrated or really sad. And I think it's more immersive, some of the cutscenes were, or a majority of them. It really engages you a lot more than some other games do, and I think that's really cool. Jeez. The factions, we got to learn more about them, got more in-depth knowledge about than I ever expected. I love that, believe it or not. We hear a lot about the Scars, we hear about the Seraphites, then we meet Yara and Lev and all this, and we learn about their community. We learn about their set of rules. Again, I reiterate about the games, they don't always do that. This one, you help learn about both cultures to an extent. And look, they're both bad in their own ways, but for what they were trying to originally be, well, the WLF, the Wolves, the whole point got a bit carried away, but suppose if uniting people, I suppose, yes, that was a good idea, or the ideology behind that. Like the Seraphites with the Prophet, it's more, let's get these people together, give them a safe haven, all this sort of stuff. That was pretty damn cool. It's the original ideology. you can see it's there, but then over time, when the leaders die, or there's new people that bring new influence, it's like it's it's like they got the symbol, but the practicality behind it, totally the opposite. But you get to learn that, you get to understand why that's become that way, and how even members of our own faction are reacting, how people react to that, and that was actually a pretty cool thing. I didn't expect to appreciate Abby's position in this game, but I very much learned to. She was actually kind of a badass, you know. I mean, okay, apart from the whole thing when she bashed Joel to death, but I get why she did that. Believe it or not, the way she did it. Okay, she's venting. He killed her father. Like I get that, and we saw her journey, how she had a relationship. She had her relationships with the different characters, the members of the Salt Lake crew. If I think Isaac, that's how he stated it, and you could tell it was that close-knit group of friends. And with Abby, it was, you got to know her a bit and got to feel for her a bit. Joel was Joel, as he always magnificently is, and they didn't need to have a huge amount of him in the story, but they did. You could see his personality through and through. It as good and as bad as it can be. His personality is, and his persona is at times. You could see that from the cutscenes, and that was amazing. Tommy, we didn't like. Tommy's one is also another character we didn't always need to see a whole great deal of. And we saw him react, how Tommy would act and react at those moments, and that was classic. That was amazing. That was really good. We got to see him react just how Tommy would, kind of the way he was in the first game, which is pretty cool. You got your people, like you got your Manny, your Owen, your Mel, these types of people, and they added to the story. They had their own little smaller stories, and the way they interacted, they built off each other. And as much as you couldn't also argue they're not as significant, they help build the story, the plot as a whole. They each contributed to it in their own minor ways, if not subtle, and all that. So and you could, it was, I do appreciate the fact that we got to know them as the Wolves. I called them often the Wolves, and we called about, I could have called them the WLF or the Washington Liberation Front, but I called them the Wolves. Because by the nickname, they acted like wolves at times. The Scars were vindictive at times, but they come from like a peaceful type background, like a liberated type of peaceful, from Seraphites, but I just end up calling them Scars most of the time because they acted like that. I'm sorry, but they did. The people who are the innocent ones, they call themselves Seraphites. I respect that totally. So safes. I'm glad that they had something a little bit different. You could find stuff. But I'm glad that you had to sometimes work out the code. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes they're always in the area. And as long as you look around and pay enough attention to your environment, you're going to find the codes. That was pretty awesome. You didn't have to sit there. Apart from the one that I had that was the two separate numbers, but either way you would have got the first, second, or third attempt anyway, so it didn't really matter. Every time there was a code or there was a way to figure it out. That was pretty cool. They just give you it. Sometimes just gave you outright, but you had to find the note first. And it wasn't always in the obvious place. So that was pretty cool, actually. So I know I'm saying that, but it's true. Sometimes the notes and the story notes you find, and talk about how certain parts of Seattle just dissolved into chaos. Different side characters' stories, how they gave you warnings of a shambler or a bloater, or they talked about some family starving, or how someone helped another family, or how these people played traitor and ran off here, and all that kind of stuff. And it builds the world, and you get to understand the history behind it. So it just just how each sections of that city either play to their own demise, or they just you understood, they explained why they left, or why they did the things they did, or why they, I don't know, why the reasons that the things that happened to those characters that we never met through the notes, they explain themselves. That was pretty cool. It really builds up the context of the world that this game is set in. Dina and Jesse, actually, yeah. I just completely forgot about him, actually. Jesse was a pretty cool character. Oh, wow, he was a cool character. Ha! I was sad that he got killed, but not everyone can live. Not everyone survives, unfortunately. He was pretty cool. He was very cocky at times, but that's what made him such a lovable character in this game. Dina was kind of, I think, the perfect choice as like just the partner for. I don't just mean kind of in romance. I just mean just as collaborative partner for Ellie on the missions, because she loves Ellie and she's willing to have her back all the way, and she understands, and she's sympathetic, and she tries to help her when she can, but she also has her own morals and her own way, her own personality, and that's shone through at times. And even Ellie just reacts the way Ellie does, but it's not like in a terrible way. Towards the end, obviously things change, but certainly the early in the middle, like, you really see her side, and the way there's that really awesome bond between them. And I think that was a really awesome way. They were pretty much a perfect pairing. You could feel the love between them, feel some of the sarcasm, the joking side, okay, be it bad jokes, the communication, the reactions and all that, the conversations, even when they're just in the open, traveling the world. That was just fantastic. I'm so glad Ellie didn't die in this game. She came close to it a couple of times, but she was the badass we've known her to be, and she stuck it out. I get why she didn't kill Abby. She didn't want to. She's like, I can't do this. Joel wouldn't want me to. It was very heartfelt game. This was it. I love how they put it a few years on. They set it up in Jackson. You've got to leave from there, travel around. We got to meet Abby early on. We didn't find out until there was the interaction between her and Owen. Kind of a cool way to set it up. I mean, it kind of throws you off, but at the same time, you kind of wonder, was that just to learn the controls, or was they going to play the character? Kind of left you questioning which way was it going to. Was it gameplay mechanic, learning gameplay mechanics, or was it as actually a character we're going to learn? So, and it's turned out as a character we're going to learn, but they kind of left you guessing, I feel, in a bit, which is kind of nice. It's a refreshing change, I think. I know some games do that, but more open world probably should give you that ability. But, of course, pending the type of story and context, of course, but just saying. This, I really did love this game. It was... There were some times which I feel, it was occasionally dragging on, but then when you went to a new area, it's like, you felt, it felt new. It felt fresher. It's like, oh, brand new area. and it sort of left you guessing as to which direction the story would take you at times, which is actually fine as far as I'm concerned. As long as they don't overly drag it on. If they switch between the characters sometimes, and as they did in this game, and you suddenly they leave you cliffhangers, and you have to learn and approach the story from a completely different angle. That's okay. There wasn't a whole lot like the maybe one or two. It's just like, maybe we could have a slightly different area. And when you thought about it, when you wanted that, 10, 20 minutes later, it occurred. That was good. That was really, really good. As I said, I really enjoyed this game. I'd heard this game was, depending on how you play this game, you could finish it in 20 hours, or you could finish it in 40, depending on how you played. I think I've done like 34 hours, but I did a lot of exploring, a lot of stealth, and try to find everything. So, as I like to do, I like to read, explore, read, and collect as much as I can. So, wow, yeah, I'm all talked out now. So anyway, yeah, we'll end it here. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been a bit of a journey. This game actually lasts a lot longer than I thought it would, but considering the story, I'm fine with that. I think it was long enough. It was long enough that you got to have the experience, but not so long as you just sit there for like 6 hours saying, "What the hell am I doing here?" That's good. But anyway, we'll end it here. Thank you so much for all the support that you've shown on this series. It means a great deal to me. I really hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. I must admit, I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I finished the game. I'm glad I'm done. It was just long enough, and I'm ready to move on to the next game and on to the next thing. So it's not bad. Just saying that I'm glad it's reached that point, and that's really good. I know I'm waffling. I like talking. What can I say? Anyway, again, thank you for all the support you've shown. I hope you've enjoyed this game as much as I have. I have thoroughly enjoyed this one. The best games I've played in the last couple of years. Absolutely. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I will see you a lot next time for a brand new Let's Play. Take care, everyone.